equal to KUXX.
2.
What is the order of this PDE? Is 2 because we have what?
UXX.
UXX. UXX is the highest order of derivatives, and then the order of our equation, our PDE, is 2. Okay. Let me go to... Okay, the first case is order of PDE, and now we know the means of order of a PDE. The second case about PDE is this equation is linear or nonlinear. The question is a PDE is linear or a PDE is nonlinear. A PDE is linear if u and all derivatives to the first power, not the power of them is 2, 3, or more than. The power of u and all the derivatives should be 1. If the power of u and all derivatives be 1, we say a PDE is linear. But if it is not, we say our PDE is not linear and it's nonlinear. In addition, for first power, if u and all its partial derivative product to each other, again the equation is not linear. It's not linear. It's nonlinear. For example, in 1.1 equation 1.1 is linear because the power of u respect t, the power of u respect x, and the power of u respect y is 1. توان u و مشتقاتش 1 هست. توان u و مشتقاتش 1 هست. توان بیشتر از 1 وجود نداره. u و مشتقاتش هم در همدیگه ضرب نشدن. پس این یک معادله خطی، یک PDE خطی میشه. خطی هست اگر توان u و مشتقاتش 1 باشه. اوکی؟
اوكي.
زينب شلون خطية وهي من الدرجة الثانية؟
Please answer.
لا
Please
يقول لك
answer.
المشتقة لازم تكون من الدرجة الأولى، يعني بعد الاشتقاق راح تكون قيم اكس المشتقة مالتها الاسم مالتها أولى، درجة أولى.
اوكي.
Please answer to me about this PDE and say to me this PDE is linear or non-linear. ux plus u y is equal to x power 2 x2 plus 1. This PDE is linear or non-linear?
واللينير شنو؟
What the power of
خطية أو غير خطية تريد؟
What the power are you respect x?
خطية.
غير
What the power
خطية.
of you respect
شلون
x?
خطية؟ مو اكس تربيع عندنا؟
دالة كثيرة حدود يعني خطية؟
Please
لا
attention to me.
خطية
Pay attention to
اوردر
me.
1 درجة أولى الخطية. هاي اكس
Please,
تربيع غير
please
خطية هاي.
معادلة خطية بدون الاشتقاق.
please hear to me. What the power of you respect x?
نو
is
لينير.
1. It's linear because you respect x. The power is it is 1. u y the power of it is 1. Yes,
والإكس تربيع.
and because the power of ux and uyy is 1, we call this PDE is linear, not non-linear. This equation is linear, okay? Because the power
ببخشید خانم باقری منظورش اکس توان دوه اشکال نداره مثلا بهش میگیم
نه
خطی
گفتیم
یا
که
فقط مشتقه باید توانش یک
فقط
باشه
یو و مشتقاتش باید اون بخش اون اف مهم نیست. گفتیم چی؟ گفتیم که یو و همه مشتقاتش باید توانش یک باشه
تكون المشتقة
در
من
همدیگه
الدرجة
هم ضرب
الأولى
نشده باشه
ما بالمعادلة الخطية معني الاف اف اكس
أوكي
و در همدیگه هم ضرب نشده باشن.
وماكو حاصل ضرب اكس في واي عشان اشتقاق ضمني تقريبا يعتبر.
اوكي؟
اوكي.
What about your opinion about this PDE? Suppose we have ux, uy plus uxx plus uyy is equal to 0. This PDE is linear or not non-linear. این معادله خطی هست یا غیر خطی هست؟
linear.
خطية.
It's non-linear because ux and uy are product. ux
أي غير خطية لأن راح يصير حاصل ضرب بيناتهم.
ux and uy در هم دیگه ضرب شدن پس این چی میشه؟ میشه non-linear. Power and product, they are no product involving more than one of these terms. This PDE is non-linear because there is product between ux and uy. Is the non-linear.
غير خطية حاصل ضرب دالتين هنا.
واكس اكس دبل اكس مشتقه اكس دوباره يعني دوباره چیز میکنیم اشتقاقش
دوباره
میکنیم
نسبت به x مشتق.
اگه این دو تا باشه هم اشکال نداره.
نه این طبعا این مرتبه مشتق گیریه. الان میگه مشتق این میگه مرتبه معادله و مرتبه 2 هست. اوردرش 2 هست چون 2 بار مشتق میگیریم.
بله.
اوردرش 2 هست چون 2 بار مشتق the highest derivative is 2. 2 بار مشتق میگیریم پس اوردرش PDE مون 2 هست.
يعني مشتقة ثانية هذه؟
توانش uxx the power 1.
تقول إذا كانت مشتقة الثانية حتى لو كانت مشتقة الثانية الرتبة مالتها 2 بس شنو الأس المشتقة هي 1 إذا راح تكون هماتين إذا ما موجود حاصل ضرب بيناتين الإكس في واي تكون هم خطية عادي يعني.
أوكي.
Another example I like to understand very well. Please suppose that we have ux, y, and x, y, y plus u, x, x, x plus u, y minus u, x is equal to u. First, answer to me, what's the order of this PDE? What's the order of this PDE?
رتبة المعادلة التفاضلية.
Order is the highest derivative of this. Order is 3, yes, because we have u respect x, y, y. U respect x, y, y means we compute 3 times derivative of u. First, respect to x, second, respect to y, and third, respect to y. In u, x, y, y, we have computed three times derivative. The third order of derivatives there is in this PDE. So we say this PDE, the order of this PDE is 3. We have u, x, y, y, and we have u, x, 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 then x, 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 y, y are 3 order of derivatives. So the order of this PDE is 3. It's okay for you?
Okay.
Another student is okay for you?
Okay.
Oh. Yeah, now please say to me this equation, this PDE is linear or non-linear?
Linear.
Linear, yes, because the power of u, x, y, y is 1. The power of u, x, x, x is 1. The power of u res u, y is 1. The power of u respect x is 1. And the power of u is 1. And then this PDE is linear, not non-linear. Okay?
Okay.
Another students, what's your, please say to me your opinion. Miss Zainab, Mr. Emad Khalil, Mr. Adnan Salman. Are you in the class? Are you in class?
أستاذ عدنان وينك؟
أستاذ عدنان أستاذ عماد.
موجود.
Let
نعم
me
نعم
know
موجود.
you hear
أستاذ
me.
عماد وينك؟
موجود
عيد
موجود.
جاوبوا.
Okay.
شنو السؤال؟
Are you this is clear for you that this equation are linear? Is it clear for you this equation is linear? Mr. Adnan Salman and Mr. Emad Khalil?
بيسألكم سؤال جاوبوا.
This
هاي
PDE is linear. Is
أستاذ
it clear for you?
أستاذ عماد يقول لك هاي خطية لو غير خطية.
خطية
خطية.
Why
هي
linear?
بالإنجليزي.
لينير
Mr. Emad, please tell us this PDE why is linear? چرا
يقول لك
این معادله
ليش؟
خطیه؟
ليش خطية؟
وساعدك المفروض.
كثيرة الحدود ست هنا.
لا
لا، من الدرجة الأولى.
درجة
حوان
كثيرة الحدود.
الدرجة الأولى الأس واحد، مرفوعة لأس واحد.
أس المشتقة.
اي هو أس المشتقة
مشتقات.
المفروض ما يصير أكثر من 2. عفوا أكثر من 1.
Mr. Emad Khalil, please attention to me.
احكي وياي.
Okay. In U, X, Y, Y, we have 3 times the derivative. We compute 3 times derivative, or we have third order of derivatives. And then this derivative, the highest order of derivatives is 3, and the order of PDE is 3. But for linear and nonlinear, we see to the power of u and x derivatives. The power of u and another derivatives and all derivatives, all partial derivatives should be first, only first. And there are no product involving more than one of these terms. U and other derivatives should not be product to each other. یعنی یو و مشتقات نباید در هم دیگه ضرب بشن. هم نباید در هم ضرب بشن، همین که توانشون باید 1 باشه که بگیم خطی هستن. اگر نمیگیم چی؟ میگیم غیر خطی هستن. اوکی؟ Is it clear?
اوكي.
اوكي.
The third case, The third definition is the dimension of a PDE. For example, in یک.1, in this equation, we have three independent variables, t, x, and y. T is used for time, and x and y are used for space. We have two space variables, x and y, and they say this PDE is two-dimension, is 2D. In 2D, D is abbreviation for dimension. We say یک is 2D PDE, is two-dimension PDE, because we have two independent variables for space, x and y. T is not important for dimension. For dimension, x and y variables in the space are important for determine the dimension of a PDE. Is it clear? For example, when we have a UT is equal to CUX, this PDE is the order of 1. The order of this PDE is 1 because we have UT and UX. We have only the first derivative, the first order derivative. Then this PDE is order 1. But this equation is linear because the power of UT is 1 and the power of UX is 1. And the second case, this PDE is 1D, is one dimension, because we have only x for a space variable. Only we have x, not x and y, and then this equation, this PDE is 1D, one dimension. It's okay?
Okay.
Did you learn this part?
بقية.
Okay, ستة.
Do you have any problem?
No problem.
No.
Okay.
يعني نعتمد على
Okay.
الإكس إذا x 1 dimension، إذا x y 2 dimension، مو هالشكل هذا المقصود؟ التي والسي ذني ما محسوبات.
اي ما محسوبات صحيح.
أعتقد بين ثوابت اختيارية.
اي ثوابت عددية.
Please determine three cases for part A to part E. For A, B, C, D, and E. Please answer. These equations are linear or nonlinear, and determine the dimension of this PDE for A, B, C, D, E. For A, please answer to me.
A linear order
Linear
2.
or nonlinear?
Linear.
Another students, the
Linear.
PDE in part A is linear or nonlinear?
أستاذ عماد وأستاذ عدنان جاوب.
linear.
Yes,
Linear.
it's linear.
set.
Yes, okay. This PDE is linear. This PDE is what about the dimension of this PDE? What is the dimension of this PDE? 1D or 2D or 3D?
2D.
2.
Another student, 1D or 2D or 3D, one dimension, or two dimension, or three dimension, two dimension.
2 dimension.
Why? Because we have X and y. U is a function of x and y. This equation don't have a t. Only this equation has x and y. Then this equation is two-dimension, is 2D. What about B? B is linear or non-linear? The P
linear.
part B is linear. It's linear.
linear.
It's linear.
And two dimension.
لا one dimension.
Two or one dimension.
One dimension.
One dimension, because U
One dimension, yes, yes.
is equal to U, T, and X.
P and
The
X.
time is not important to determine the dimension of equation. T is not important, and we have only X for a space variable. Then this
فقط
equation
متغيرات.
is 1D. A space equation, X is important, not T. T is not important for determine the dimension of the PDE. The space variable is important, and we have X for a space variable, and this equation is 1D, one dimension. What about part C? Part
Linear.
C is linear or non-linear?
Linear, one dimension.
Again,
Yes,
this
and one
PDE
dimension.
also is linear.
linear.
PDE also is linear. And what about the dimension of this PDE?
One.
One or two or three?
One dimension.
U is a function of t, only t and x. And we have one space variable x, and this equation is one dimension. Part D again is linear and is one dimension.
Yes.
Because this equation only has x as a space variable. And the last PDE in part E, the equation again is linear and again is one dimension, because this equation has t and x. T important, and we have only x as a space variable. Okay?
Okay.
Did you learn this part?
Okay.
Let me to go to the next part. 1.2. We are going to discuss about solution to a PDE. What is the solution of a PDE? What the solution of a PDE?
شنو هو الحل مالت المعادلة؟
Answer to me. What the solution of a PDE? What is the solution of a PDE?
OGE?
In Arabic or in English or in Persian? جواب یک PDE چی هست؟ به چی میگیم جواب؟
زينب شنو حل المعادلة التفاضلية؟
هي غير المعادلة هي نفسها، ما تحليها تغير تشتقيها، هي نفسها المعادلة.
لا معادلة لا، إذا هي معادلة تفاضلية
هي تريد
حل
المعادلة التفاضلية.
اي حلها راح يكون اعتيادية، راح تروح المشتقة من
لا اعتقد طرق حل المعادلة التفاضلية.
الدالة الأصلية.
طرق
اعتقد طرق حل المعادلة
هوموجينيوس وبرنولي
فصل المتغيرات، تحويلات تكاملية
متجانسة،
وتبديل المتغيرات، وتحويل المتغير التابع.
حول إنجليزي.
homogeneous متجانسة.
Okay. The
برنولي
solution of a PDE is the unknown function u that satisfy the equation that satisfy the PDE. At the first, I say to you, in this PDE 1.1, A, B, and C are known function, and U is unknown function, and we should try to find U such that U satisfy at this PDE. The unknown function U that satisfy in this PDE is called the solution of this PDE. Solving a PDE means that find the unknown function U. ما باید تابع U رو پیدا کنیم که در معادله PDE ما صادق باشه، صدق بکنه. U باید در PDE ما صادق باشه، صدق بکنه. We have two types of solution, analytical or exact solution and approximate solution. We have two types of solution, analytical or exact solution of a PDE and approximate solution for a PDE. Analytical or exact solution of a PDE is a function that satisfies the PDE, and also this function satisfies in boundary and initial conditions. Approximate solution is a discrete solution for PDE. In approximate solution, we suppose some grid points in the area of the solution and try to find the solution of PDE at this point, only at this point, not all of node in the domain of PDE. We have grid the area of the domain of the PDE and suppose some nodes, some point that is called mesh for this area and try to find the value of U at this point. This is approximate solution, and in this approximate scheme or U is required to approximate solution. For finding the approximate solution, we are required to approximate a scheme, and this approximate scheme is implemented via a computer program. Which of you know the programming with computer? Which of them know programming with computer? چه کسی برنامه نویسی با کامپیوتر بلده میتونه برنامه بنویسه با کامپیوتر؟
من تعرف تشتغل على الكمبيوتر؟
وشنو الشغل اللي نشتغله؟
تعليم هستين در كلاس؟
مثل شنو يعني؟ شنو نشتغله؟
أتوقع يعني كتابة هاي مال ليلي
programming
مال الرياضيات.
For example with MATLAB with C++.
ماتلاب من
بلدني هیچ که بلدنی.
هیچ کس نبود. خب من بهتون حالا کم کم که بریم جلو بهتون مطلب یاد میدم.
خیلی خوبه اگه یادمون بدین.
به خاطر اینکه حالا من میگم شما برای بچه‌ها ترجمه کنید. یک دانشجوی آنالیز عددی باید یک زبان برنامه نویسی بلد باشه. باید بتونه که بهش یاد میدن بنویسه.
شرح میدن ولی خب خودشون مینویسن، یادمون نمیدن چجور ما استفاده کنیم ازشون. بنویسیم.
مثلا ترم قبل شما کد نویسی داشتید؟
نه.
اوکی. پس نگاه کنید برای هفته‌های بعد، مثلا برای 3 هفته دیگه همتون مطلب رو روی سیستم هاتون نصب کنید.
انشالله.
مطلب سافت ویر
تقول لازم تتعلمون الكل يعرف يشغل يعني يكتب على هذا البرنامج مال ماتلاب، خاصة انتم تحليل عددي لازم هذا الشيء تعرفوه ما يصير. فقاعد في 3 أسابيع انا اجي ابدي اعلمكم شلون
يعني لازم برنامج ننزله؟
ايه هاي قالت لازم تنزلين برنامج مال ماتلاب.
You should as a person, you should as a can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
I don't have you. I don't have. Let me know if you hear me. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes, 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 yes.
Yes,
Okay,
yes.
okay. I don't have your voice, and at now I have your voice. Voice is okay. You are as numerical analysis students should know a language for coding, for programming. I like MATLAB. Python is like as MATLAB, but I try to learn you MATLAB. Please install the MATLAB software on your systems for the next session.
لازم ننزله بالحاسبة مو
ايه لازم
بالموبايل.
ننزل الحاسبة.
Okay. Then for compute approximate solution for a PDE, we have to we have to approximate a scheme and is implemented via a computer program. The method of this lesson of this course is finite difference method. In this course, the goal of this in this course is to learn finite difference method for any kind of PDE, for any kind of partial differential equation. In a finite difference method of FDM, FDM means is abbreviation for finite difference method. In finite difference method, the partial derivative and other term in PDE is approximate. And any term of PDE are approximate. For example, the partial derivative are approximate by some expression that is obtained from Taylor series. And the one factor, one case, and one very important issue to this finite difference method is Taylor's theorem. And by this theorem, we can obtain some scheme for approximate partial derivatives. And in the next chapter, we discuss about Taylor series, Taylor's theorem. Okay. And the other part of this session is PDE models. As you know, and as it was said before, PDEs describe many of fundamental natural laws, such as, for example, conservation of mass, so describe of a wide range of physical phenomena. Example include Laplace equations for a steady state heat condition. Laplace equation is an example for PDE. It's familiar PDE. Laplace equation is familiar PDE, and it used for a steady state heat conduction. The advection diffusion equation is an PDE that it used for pollutant transport. Maxwell's equation is another familiar PDE, and this equation is used for electromagnetic waves. The Navier-Stokes equation is again the familiar PDE and is used for fluid flows and many PDE you can search and find in many fields. Please attention to me. Laplace's equation, Laplace's equation, and Navier-Stokes equation, and pollutant transport is advection equation, Navier-Stokes equations, and Laplace's equations. They are very important and very familiar PDE. Laplace equation is used for a steady state conduction. The advection diffusion equation is another familiar PDE and is used for pollutant transport. Maxwell equation is used for electromagnetic wave. Navier-Stokes is another familiar PDE and is for fluid flow used. Please name of familiar PDE. Please answer to me. Please name some familiar PDE. اسم چند تا از معادلات معروف رو بگید که الان بهتون گفتم.
زینب في معادلات استوى قامت تحكي عليها انا بالي مو يمها كان
اسم چند تا معادله معروفه که الان بهتون
هسه
گفتم.
المعادلات هسه قالت اسماء المعادلات اللي استوى قالتهم بالانجليزي.
لا بلا
اللي هي قالتها.
One is Laplace's equation. Two is advection diffusion equation. 3 is Maxwell equations. 4 is Navier-Stokes equations. This is 4 important and familiar PDE in many fields is used. Okay?
Okay.
Laplace equation, advection diffusion equation, Maxwell equation, and Navier-Stokes equation. They are 4 important and familiar PDE that are used in many fields.
يعني ذني اللي راح ندرسهن؟
ايه.
اوكي.
اعتقد ان طرق حل المعادلات يعني بصورة عامة.
ايه بصورة عامة بس احنا راح ندرسها.
Okay. Please attention me. The second order PDE, the second order and linear PDE is a classification to 3 types of equation: elliptic, parabolic, and hyperbolic. We suppose this equation, this PDE, are round 2 phi over round x2 plus b round 2 phi over round x round y plus c round 2 phi over round y2 plus d round phi over round x plus e round phi over round y plus f phi plus g is equal to 0. Is the linear two-dimensional second-order equation. Two-dimensional because we have x and y. Second-order equation because we have second order of partial derivatives, and is linear because the power of phi and all derivatives is 1. Okay, this is two-dimension and second order linear PDE. Is okay?
Okay.
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 In this equation, R is the coefficient of, when we say R is the coefficient of round 2 phi over round x2. B is the coefficient of round 2 phi over round x round y. C is the coefficient of round 2 phi over round y2. D is the coefficient of the first derivative of phi respect to x, and E is the coefficient of the first derivative of phi respect to y. In general, this PDE classification into three groups. If B2 minus 4AC is smaller than 0, this equation is called elliptic. If B2 minus 4AC is equal to 0, this PDE is called parabolic. And if B2 minus 4AC is greater than 0, this PDE is said to be hyperbolic equation. Then we have three types of equation: elliptic PDE, parabolic PDE, and hyperbolic PDE. If B2 minus 4AC is smaller than 0, the PDE is said to be elliptic. If B2 minus 4AC is equal to 0, the equation is called parabolic. And if B2 minus 4AC is greater than 0, the equation is called hyperbolic. Okay? What is the B? What is the B? B is the coefficient of round 2 phi over round x round y. A is the coefficient of round 2 phi over round x2, and C is the coefficient of round 2 phi over round y2. And D and E and F and G is not used in this formulation. Okay? For example, please attention to this PDE. Part A, UXX plus UYY is equal to F. Please say to me, what is A, what is B, and what is C? Is this equation? Is A, B, C, or determine the elliptic or parabolic or hyperbolic?
هسه هنا تريد نوعهن إنه متناقصة أكبر من الصفر لو أصغر من الصفر لو تساوي صفر المشتقة مالتها. المشتقة لازم نبين نوعها زينب.
عيني.
هنا لازم
المتناقص لازم أقل من
إيه،
صفر.
أقل من صفر. هو هذا المقدار المميز البي تربيع ناقص 4 أي سي. فهاي شنو
R
هي؟
is a
هي راح تطلع
coefficient, please attention to me. R is a coefficient of
هذني
round 2u respect ux2 or u sub xx. Yes, in this PDE, R is 1. R is the coefficient of uxx or round 2u respect over round x2. Please attention me and
شلون نعرف هذني؟
write
إنه
for
يا
you.
نوع من عجن.
uxx is the same, is equal to round 2u over round x2. These are equal to each other. These are as the same. اینها با هم دیگه مساوی هستن. uxx مساوی هست با round 2u نسبت به round x2. Okay? uxx is the same of round 2u.
المشتقة الثانية تساوي مشتقق الجزئي بالنسبة للإكس.
Have the same meaning. The meaning of both of them is two derivative respect x and x. We can write uxx and also we can write round 2u over round x2. Both of them is the same. They are same. Yes. هر دو یکی هستن. uxx همون u راند u به راند x2 هست. هر دو یکی هستن.
لا.
اوكي.
تقول لك اليو بدلالة الإكسات المشتقات الثانية نفسها المشتقة الثانية الجزئية بالنسبة للإكس. يعني هذا اللي كاتبت لك إياه تقول لك إياه المساويات.
أوكي.
يعني هنا أنا جاي تشتق اشتقاق جزئي.
جزئي عفوا أستاذ.
هر دو یکی هستن. ما میتونیم بنویسیم uxx
يا أما أكتب هذا يا أما أكتب ذاته.
u به راند x2.
خوش.
يعني تقول لك ذن المتساويات.
خب.
اوكي.
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 همینطور ما میتونیم we can write u y is equal to round 2u over round y 2.
Yes.
They are the same. Also, we can write u x y is equal to round 2u over
u للx
y round x.
Product.
They are the same. Okay.
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 I believe.
As we say to you, and as you know, R is the coefficient of round 2f or round 2u. That problem respect to round x2. Please answer to me. What please determine A, B, C for determining the elliptic, parabolic, or hyperbolic of this equation. R is the coefficient of uxx and in this example is 1. B is the coefficient of uxy and this PDE we have not uxy and then B is equal to 0. And C is the coefficient of uyy and this equation the coefficient of uyy is equal to 1. And then we compute B2 minus 4AC. B is 0, A and C is R1, and the answer is minus 4. Okay? And we say if B2 minus 4AC is smaller than 0, the PD is called elliptic. Okay?
Okay.
And this equation, we obtain the B2 minus 4AC is smaller than 0. And this equation is elliptic. UXX plus UYY is equal to F of X and Y is an elliptic equation. Okay? This equation is elliptic.
Okay.
Why this equation is why this
قولي
PD
سالب
is
شنو هو؟
elliptic?
نيجاتيف اكتب السالب
ما هي تقول ماينس.
ماينس.
Okay, because B2 minus 4AC is smaller than 0. And if the
smaller than 0.
B2 minus 4AC is smaller than 0, the PD is called elliptic. Okay?
اوكي.
بس إذن شلون بطلع من الأي والبي والسي؟ شلون أرفس من المعادلة؟
Mr. عدنان
زينب
سلمان
اتوقع يمكن
إيمان خليل
اوكي
are present.
خلاص ببخشید خانم باقری
بفرمایید.
چطور در آوردین A مساوی 1 و B مساوی 0؟
A ضریب روند U به روند X2 هست. خب
بله.
C ضریب روند 2U به روند Y2 هست. B هم ضریب روند 2U به روند X روند Y هست.
بله.
تو این مثال روند UX هم
متوجه شدیم.
اوکی.
واضح شد.
بقیه بچه‌ها چی؟
تقول معامل A اللي هي X اشتقاق الجزء بدلالة X، شنو المعامل مالته؟ 1. والسي معامل المن للواي دبل واي وياي اشتقاق جزء بالنسبة للواي. والبي حاصل ضرب X في واي. اكو هنا ما عندنا، اذا 0.
يعني من نشوف X معناته أي واحد واي
لا معامل مالته معامل B. إذا X هو معامل A. اي صح.
اي وإذا XY يكون البي تصير 1. من هنا ماكو XY فبي 0.
اي أنا توقعت هيش طبعا. اوكي.
We describe for you in this part A is coefficient ضريب. A is coefficient. Okay.
هنا بالقانون مكتوب
respect round X2. B is coefficient of round 2 phi over round X round Y. C is the coefficient means ضريب round 2 phi respect round Y2. Okay.
يعني أي معامل المشتقة الثانية.
مشتقة الثانية
لإكس. أي معامل
مشتقية أوله.
اي اوكي هي عندي شيء لازم نحفظها.
replace
المشتقة الأولى بالنسبة للإكس.
اي مو قول
المشتقة الأولى بالنسبة للواي حسب هذا القانون اللي قبالنا.
اي حسب هذا القانون لازم نحفظه. الإي المشتقة الأولى الواي، والدي المشتقة الأولى الإكس،
والإف خلينا نسألها وجي.
الإف هاي شنو؟ هاي فاي.
الإف وجي. خان باقري زاريبة إف هي
فاي. هاي شنو فاي؟
الان دقت please all students attention to me, be careful. In this PDE we can use any letter replace for phi. We can use round 2U over round X2. Phi can be U, can be V, can be everything. U, okay? When we say A is the coefficient of round 2U respect round X2. B is the coefficient of round 2U respect round X round Y. C is the coefficient of round 2U over round Y2. For determine the elliptic or parabolic or hyperbolic, we need A, B, and C. We don't need D, E, and F. D, E, and F don't use for P and B2 minus 4AC.
ما نحتاجهن تقول
We
لك
use
عارفين شنو؟
use
تقول الإي
only
والإف
B,
والجي ما
A,
نحتاجها
and
لأن
C.
بالمميز ما نحتاج بس الأي والبي والسي.
اوكي.
Okay. D and
مترادفين
E
متفهم
and
بقى
F and
مترادفين.
D not
يعني
important.
بي يو اف نمي خايمشون شون توين قانون بي بتوانون من هاي 4 اي سي
استفاده
فقط
نمیشه.
اي وبي وسي ومتوجه
نحتاج.
يعني A or B and C are important for determine the type of PDE. Okay?
Don't do
Okay.
that.
In the next part we have UT is equal to KUXX. Please determine the type of this PDE. Please answer to me. This equation is elliptic or parabolic or hyperbolic. What is A? What is B? What is C?
A
K.
يساوي
لا،
A
واحد.
يساوي K.
K.
One side
K.
is equal to 0. One side should be equal to 0.
T 0
B and C
والبي 0.
البي زيرو.
We should write
البي زيرو.
UT minus
K.
KUXX is equal to 0.
0.
And now you say the A and B and C. In this equation, we have UXX, and the coefficient of UXX is minus K, okay?
Minus K.
Minus K
K.
is A, okay?
Okay.
Okay.
B
Okay.
is the coefficient
0.
around 2U respect XY. And we don't have UXY in this equation. And then B is equal to 0.
0.
زيرو.
What about C?
0.
0. Okay, very good.
زيرو.
C is 0.
زيرو.
And
زيرو.
then B2
الماك مشتقة الثانية الواي.
4AC is equal
0.
to 0. And we have said when B2 minus 4AC is equal to 0, the PDE is called a parabolic. Yes?
Parabolic.
And then this equation is a parabolic. UT is equal to KUXX is called parabolic equation, parabolic PDE. Okay?
Okay.
Okay.
And what about C, D, and E? What about C? Please solve this equation and determine the type of this PDE. All our students, please solve and say to me, what is the kind of this PDE? Elliptic or parabolic or hyperbolic?
Hyperbolic.
Why? Why this PDE is hyperbolic?
A equal C square.
A is equal to, first, we should write this equation such that one side is 0. Yes? Means UT
minus C square UXX equals 0.
Equal to 0. Yes. 0. And then determine A, B, and C.
B
A equal
0
minus C square.
Okay.
A minus C square.
Yes.
Please, for the part C, part D, and the part E, solve and write on the paper and send me the solution in WhatsApp.
Now.
Yes.
تريد الدي.
Okay.
تريد
Okay.
الحل
هسه
الدي والدي.
تريده هسه.
D and E. Please solve them and determine
يعني
the
هنا
type of
المشتقة الأولى
discrete.
بدلالة إكس، يعني السي راح يصير عندي دي حسب القانون الموجود.
Okay, it's the break time, and we have 15 minutes for the break, and then return to the class. Okay?
Okay.
15 minutes we have rest,
Okay. Okay.
and then return to the class.
Okay.
اوكي.
Please, all of the students return to the class. All of them be present to class. Okay?
Yes. Yes. Okay.
اوكي.
Okay? Because in our PDE we have T and X. Then we replace T replaced by Y. Okay? Then in this equation, in this part C, we have UTT minus C2UXX is equal to 0. And we can say A equal to 1 or A equal to minus C2. فرقی نداره چه بگیم A مساویه با 1 چه بگیم A مساویه با منفی C2، چون اینها متقارن هستن، اینها در واقع نقش A و C شبیه همدیگه هست. پس فرق نمیکنه بگم A مساویه با 1 یا بگم A مساویه با منفی C2، یکی هستن. اوکی؟ Is it clear for you? I can write A equal to 1, or I can write A is minus C2. B is 0 and C is 1, or C is minus C2 and A is 1. And then B2 minus AC, B is 0, A is minus C2, minus in minus is positive, and we have 4 C2. And then B2 minus 4AC is greater than 0. And then we call this PDE hyperbolic. One of them send the solution in WhatsApp. Mr. Ali Ibrahim, excuse me, Miss Sima Hassan. Miss Sima Hassan, please be careful. Miss Sima Hassan, please be careful. In part C, you write B2 minus 4AC, B is 0 is okay, but you write the A is minus C2 is okay, and you write C is 0, C not 0, C is 1, C is the coefficient of UTT and is 1. And in addition, if you suppose C is 0, 0 minus 4 times minus C2 minus 0 is 0. And when the B2 minus 4AC B0, the PDE is parabolic, not hyperbolic. Okay?
Okay.
You should write C is 1. And when C is 1, B2 minus 4AC equal to 4C2 and is greater than 0, and then this equation of is hyperbolic. Okay? Okay, all student?
Okay.
Or no?
Okay.
Okay. Part D. What about part D? In part D, we cannot determine the elliptic, hyperbolic, or parabolic because this classification is for second order equation, not first order equation. دقت کنید این تقسیم بندی معادلات برای معادلات مرتبه دوم هست، نه معادلات مرتبه اول. Okay? In part D, the PD is the first order. از مرتبه اوله. پس نمیتونیم براش بیضوی، hyperbolic or سهموی مشخص کنیم. Be careful. Part D, the PD is the first order. Part D is the first order, and we cannot determine the hyperbolic or parabolic or elliptic. Okay? The elliptic and hyperbolic and parabolic are used for second order PDE, not first order PDE. And the part E. In part E, really we have UT plus C UX minus K UXX equal to 0. Okay? Then we have T and X as independent variables. And then A is the coefficient of UXX and is minus K. We have not UXT or UTX, and then B is 0, 0. And C is the coefficient of UTT or UYY, and we have not UTT or UYY at this PDE, and then C is equal to 0. Then B2 minus 4AC equal to 0. And this equation is what? You say, you answer. When B2 minus 4AC equal to 0, what kind of equation we have? This equation is elliptic or parabolic or hyperbolic. Part E, when B2 minus 4AC equal to 0, what the kind of this PDE? When B2 minus 4AC equal to 0, the equation, the PDE is called parabolic, okay? And this part D, we...
Okay.
Okay.
The PDE in In the part A, uxx plus uyy equal to f is the Poisson equation. It's the familiar PDE. It's elliptic. Uxx plus uyy is equal to f of x and y is Poisson equation. And when f is 0, this is Laplace's equation. When f is 0, this equation return to uxx plus uyy equal to 0, and this equation is Laplace's equation. Okay? Uxx plus uyy is equal to f of x and y is Poisson's equation, and if f is 0, this is Laplace equation. At the top of this part, we name this equation Poisson equation, Laplace equation, Navier-Stokes, and the other. And you should learn this formulation of Laplace and Poisson equation on the next session. Uxx plus uyy equal to f is Poisson's and Laplace equation. And the part B, we have ut equal xx. This equation is one dimension and is called diffusion equation. Diffusion equation is ut equal to k uxx. This diffusion equation. Diffusion means انتشار، معادله نشر، معادله انتشار. And the part C, UTT equal to C2UXX is the wave equation. You should understand this equation. UTT equal to C2UXX is the wave equation, diffusion equation, and Poisson's equation. The Poisson's equations or Laplace equations is used to model the steady state situation. So, please be careful. Poisson's equation and Laplace equation is used to model the steady state temperature distribution in a plate or incompressible. One of them, the environmental of is busy. اطراف یک کدومتون سر صدا زیاد هست؟
Again, a question.
Okay. As we know, as we said, the Poisson's equation and the Laplace equation used to model the steady state temperature distribution in a plate or incompressible potential flow. Diffusion equation can be used to model the time-dependent temperature distribution along a heated 1D bar. Poisson's equations and diffusion equation, both of them are used to temperature distribution, but Poisson's equation, T is not in our equation, and only we have X and Y. We have not time variable, we have not T, but in diffusion equation, we have T as a variable, as a independent variable, yes? And the diffusion equation itself dependent on T, on time. And both of them used to temperature distribution. The part A is elliptic, but part B is parabolic. Both of them is used for temperature distribution, but part A is used for plate or incompressible potential flow, but part B is used to temperature distribution along a heated 1D bar. قسمت پارت A برای حالت تعادل استفاده میشه، تعادل گرمایی استفاده میشه، حالا برای اون فالوهای غیر فشرده. ولی قسمت B معادله انتشار برای در واقع انتشار گرما در طول یک میله استفاده میشه. پس معادله پواسون یک معادله برای حالت تعادل هستش، برای استیدی استیت استفاده میشه، ولی معادله سهموی و معادله دیفیوژن اکوئژنی که اینجا مشاهده میکنید برای انتشار گرما در طول یک میله استفاده میشه. Are you understand? Yes or no?
وصلت الفكرة؟
لا.
لو أشرحها
شرحيها لا.
هي بدها تحكي عن استعمال، يعني في الأولى استعملها دائما للشغلات المتعادلة.
I will repeat.
والثانية البي.
I will repeat. Poisson's equation is used for temperature distribution. For a steady state situation, برای حالت تعادل استفاده میشه، steady state situation استفاده میشه. But diffusion equation in part B, diffusion equation is used for temperature distribution along a heated 1D bar. یعنی در معادله انتشار برای انتشار گرما در طول یک میله استفاده میشه، نه برای حالت تعادل، برای انتشار گرما استفاده میشه در طول یک میله. اوکی؟
اوکی.
wave equation یا معادله موج بهش میگیم، معادله موج is used to model a vibrating guitar string or 1D supersonic flow. As the wave equation is used to model the vibrating guitar string or 1D supersonic flow. Is application of wave equation. And C, and the coefficient C is the speed of wave, is wave speed, okay? And part D, not second order, and part E is advection diffusion equation. In part E, we have a parabolic equation, and it's called advection diffusion equation. And it's used to model transport of a pollutant in a river. The coefficient K and C in the above PD is the experimental coefficient, and K could be the coefficient of thermal conductivity, and C is a wave speed, usually in a fluid flow. Okay, in this part, you familiar with diffusion equation, wave equation, convection diffusion equation, and parabolic and Poisson's and Laplace equation. You should understand and memorize these PDEs. Okay? Who can say to me what is the initial and boundary condition? Who can say to me what is the initial and boundary condition? شرایط مرزی و شرایط اولیه یک معادله چیا هستند؟ Who is can answer to me?
No. شروط المعادلة الأولية شنو تعرفوها أستاذة؟
شرایط اولیه و شرایط مرزی در یک معادله چی هستند؟
يعني شنو معادلة
چی
أولية؟
میگه شرایط مرزی؟
شروط المعادلة الأولية
يا أولية يعني من الدرجة الأولى؟
لا ما قالت أولى من الدرجة الأولى.
ما أعرف شنو تقصد بالأولية.
نمیدونم.
خب in the Bachelor of Science you have the differential equation course. درسته؟ در دوره کارشناسی شما درس معادلات دیفرانسیل داشتید. درسته؟
بله.
تو اون درس at that course when you solve the equation you have parameter C and you obtain the general solution for ODE for differential equation and your answer include C constant C and when you have a one or two condition you can determine the constant C. Okay? Please solve this equation. Y prime plus y equal to 0 is the first order ODE and در Bachelor of Science در دوره کارشناسی شما حل اینها رو بلد هستی. is a linear. Please solve this equation. I'm waiting for your solution.
غير ننقل الواي من هاي الجهة
or by double prime
y prime equal minus y.
Please solve this.
قد نحولها مشتقة جزئية هنا أدريتها.
لا يريد تحل المعادلة.
اي احل المعادلة غير تكامل.
لازم ننقل الواي.
integration. اخذ اول شيء انقل الواي. واي دبل برايم.
integration صدق يمكن integration. لا أكيد هي المشتقة الثانية.
لا solution نحن لازم أكاملها. أول شيء
يعني ترك قيمة واي.
إيه راح نحصل على قيمة واي.
خان باقر متوجه نمشین.
یه معادله هست مال دوره کارشناسیتون هستش. یه معادله
مثلا این وای باید اون میشه وای دبل تکرار مساوی میشه مای منفی
فرمول داشتی براش
یا باید تکاملش رو بگیریم.
باید معادله مشخصه براش بنویسی.
یاد نداریم.
معادله
الان 13 سال 14 سال ما کارشناسیمون رو گرفتیم. میگم لیسانس
یکم روش فکر کنیم ببینید چی به دست میاریم.
قلت طلعوا لي قيمة باكر وبي أقول حلوا المعادلة.
إي يعني انتجرال.
إحنا بالخامس بالسادس.
إي انتجرال يعني.
ننقل الواي كامل.
إي أنقل الواي وكامل.
أقول لها قولي
لا شلون أحول لازم إنه الواي دبل برايم يصير partial y square partial x square وأحلها
يا مشتقة هي لبسها هاي.
أيوة فصل متغيرات. أول شيء أفصل متغيرات بعدين أكامل.
هي ما قالت تكامل.
لا شلون تنحل؟ هي لازم أول شيء أفصل المتغيرات بعدين. قولها هسه ندزلج، قولها هسه نحل وندزلج. خلينا نجرب.
يلا دزي حلي دزي.